moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Thursday, 29th August 2024 and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Adana Combi. This is the day that the Lord has made and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Yes, it is Thursday. We're nearing the end of the week, the day before Friday. And of course, as we head on into the weekend, we celebrate our independence here in Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, so many things happening in public spaces, you know, as we celebrate our national instrument. We celebrate so many things heading into our independence. And so I do hope that you find something to celebrate, that you find something to be thankful for, and that you continue to live a life that is meaningful as you go about your daily duties. Of course, this morning we are so happy to be coming to you. We're so happy that you've made us part of your morning routine, whether you are in your kitchen, in your garden, or getting ready to start your day. We are so happy that you chose us and that you have made us the number one choice here in Trinidad and Tobago. Before we get into all of our conversations this morning, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
In 90 seconds for Thursday, August 29, 2024. Tobago police are investigating a shooting in Goodwood yesterday involving an off-duty officer and two men. According to reports, the incident took place when Sergeant Colin Stewart attempted to arrest a man. During the arrest, a struggle broke out, causing the officer to fall to the ground. Police stated that the man allegedly shouted, "Somebody go dead here today," and grabbed the officer's firearm, resulting in Stewart being shot in the arm. As the struggle continued, the suspect was shot when he tried to seize the firearm a second time. The suspect's friend was also shot in the shoulder when he attempted to intervene. All three men were treated at the Scarborough General Hospital. UNC leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar revealed some of the party's upcoming general election manifesto. Persad-Bissessar proposed raising the legal age for marijuana using and gambling to 25, while supporting crime victims with jobs and housing and ensuring the right to a timely trial. She also announced plans to introduce monetary rewards for effective policing and avoid property tax increases. Persad-Bissessar criticized the current government's handling of crime and emphasized that the upcoming general election will be challenging but crucial for the party. And finally, the TNT Unified Teachers Association reminded teachers not to report to work if their assigned school is closed unless instructed by Teaching Service Commission. President of Tutor Martin Lukin advised that any other instructions should be ignored and the instances of intimidation should be reported. This advisory comes as schools prepare to reopen on September 2nd. Meanwhile, teachers protested on August 27th over delayed medical insurance funds now exceeding $34 million. The Ministry of Education will hold ceremonies to commission new and refurbished schools on August 30th. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Biana, for our news there in 90 seconds. And what unfortunate news this morning to start off your news story, Biana. I mean, what are your thoughts? Like, what is happening in our Tobago space? What?
I don't know what to say this morning.
You know, I think we need to. We've been speaking about national pride and celebrating things here in Trinidad and Tobago, and I feel we need to get back to a place where we have pride in ourselves and pride in our country and pride in the things that make us who we are. And, you know, that level of respect that we should have one for another.
Yeah.
I was talking to, I can't remember who the guest was this week when we were talking about, I think it was Senator Lawrence Hislop, when we mentioned that back then when we were in primary school, each day we would have to sing our national anthem and recite the national pledge.
Yes.
And those words, once you say them every day, once you repeat them every day, they ring true and they ignite something in you that would cause you to want to live a life that is respectful, respectable, and, you know, a peaceable life. And I'm hoping that we could get back to those places where we have respect one for another, and that we can live in peace and harmony here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
All right, Brianna, thank you so much for joining us this morning and sharing that news with us. And we do hope that you have a wonderful day today.
You as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning where we celebrate with those who are celebrating. It is time for our birthday shout-outs. All right, this morning and celebrating a birthday this morning, we start off with Jaron Gibbs. Jaron Gibbs is celebrating a birthday today, and Jaron, we want to wish you a very happy birthday. We pray God's blessings upon your life as you enter this new chapter of your life. We do hope that you enjoy all the love that comes with celebrating a birthday. And on screen is Mr. Kevin Lewis, also known as Salt. He is celebrating a birthday today. And Kevin, we want to wish you the very best. Today, we pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you enjoy your birthday. And bringing up the birthday celebrations is Shane Sterling. Shane Sterling is also celebrating a birthday today. And Shane, we want to wish you God's blessings upon your life. We pray that you walk in purpose, and that as you enter this new chapter of your life, that you enjoy and create and enjoy memorable, cherished moments with your loved ones. Happy birthday to you. And of course, if we do not have your photograph this morning and you're celebrating, we join with you in the celebration. We also wish you a very, very happy birthday as well. And we pray God's blessings upon your life. We also remind you to give God thanks for life, for no man can give life unto himself except the Lord gives it unto him. So remember to be thankful. Find something, some way to be thankful for today. For this is indeed a beautiful day and a lovely day to be in the land of the living. All right, you might be wondering this morning, who are we having conversations with today? We start off by speaking with Mr. Braden Roberts. He's the president of Tutor Tobago chapter, and we speak about back to school, the back to school update. As you know, we're heading back to school come Monday morning, so we're going to speak a little bit as to in terms of the preparation and what is in place for back to school. We also have conversations as it relates to the Tobago Creative Tank. As you're aware, that competition rounded a couple weeks, I think, ago here in Tobago, and so we're going to have conversations where that is concerned to get a synopsis of it and, just to get some more general ideas as to what is taking place there. We do hope that you could stay with us. Before we go for a break this morning, I want to say a special good morning to all of you who are viewing us on our live stream this morning. Our regular viewers, Miss Pearl Murray Beard, we say good morning to you. We say good morning to Dora Lyons. We say good morning to Brenda Campbell. Good morning to Marilyn Spence. Good morning to my parents, Sharon and Jeremiah Cumby. Good morning to all of you, whether you are viewing us here in Tobago, in Trinidad, the Caribbean region, the United States of America, Canada, the United Kingdom, the continent of Australia, or the continent of Africa, or even Asia. We say good morning to you and welcome. Thank you so much for choosing us, whether you're viewing us on our Facebook live stream, on our YouTube channel, or on Amplier 102. We say good morning, welcome, and thank you so much for choosing us. We have to go for a short break before we begin conversations in studio. And as we go, we invite all of you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
I'm so relieved Javel gave me this money. Now I could enjoy the holidays with my family and not have to worry about monies for bags, books, and shoes.
Javel? Who is Javel? She could give me some money too?
Javel is the July-August vacation education loan at Bethel Credit Union. Up to $20,000 to help with all additional expenses during this July-August.
Yes, you heard right. Call the Bethel Credit Union and ask for Javel. She'll hook you up with the money to take care of all your additional expenses this holiday season. Open to new members too. Get up to $20,000 and have a worry-free holiday with Javel. Call 639-8226 or 631-1336 or message us on Facebook for more information.
Are you ready to optimize your wedding business for engagement season and book more clients? Refine is the place to be. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024 from 9 a.m. Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. This premier event is designed specifically for Caribbean wedding industry professionals. Gain expert insights, practical knowledge, and valuable connections that can help you thrive in the destination wedding market. Register now at refinesummit.com. It is time to refine. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Get insider info, advice, advice and insights from local, regional, and international players in the destination wedding market. Refine the Wedding Business Summit, Saturday, 14th September 2024, Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. It's time to refine.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Attention members, now is your chance to double or even triple your dividend payment with no increase in your existing loan payment. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to boost your dividends effectively. Whether you're planning a vacation or simply looking to maximize your savings, we've got you covered. Call us today at 639-8226 or 631-1336. Message us on Facebook for more information. Hurry, this offer won't last long. Bethel Credit Union, because we see you at BCU. Attention all talented individuals and groups in Tobago. This is your moment to shine. Showcase your skills in music, dance or drama at Tobago Star Quest. Prelim auditions are held every Sunday across various communities throughout Tobago. Seize the chance to win exciting prizes and demonstrate your talent. For more details, visit our Instagram page at tobago.star.quest or email tobagostarquest@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Remember the days when party was party?
Oh, na 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 na.
Well, we're bringing those days back in one night. School Fear.
Brown a man where you have a big ninja bike, come a ride man. Every night you pick up the phone, tell me a lie why you can't come home. You are gonna make me draw for your part-time lover.
School Fear. On Friday, August 30th at Fairways Restaurant and Lounge from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. Kick off the holiday with a blast from the past.
Jump up and scream 'cause you no carry no bell. Go Rachel, go Rachel.
Join us for the ultimate old school party the night before the holiday, Friday 30th August. Free shots all night long, retro vibes, classic hits, and memories in the making. This is one party you don't want to miss. School Fear.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show, and thank you so much for staying with us. We begin conversations this morning in studio, and we speak with Mr. Braden Roberts, and he is the president of Tutor Tobago, as we speak to Back to School, September 2024. Good morning, Mr. Roberts, and welcome.
Good morning. It has been a while.
Yes, it has, and of course, we're talking about our children going back to school come Monday morning. A few things, of course, to note. Traffic on the road, you know, and one of the main things that we usually speak about in the Tobago space is the preparedness of the schools to receive our children as they go back out to school. We know traditionally in Tobago, there's usually the school repair program that takes place during the July-August vacation and getting our schools ready for our students. And over the years, sometimes you would hear that this school can't open today, or the school has to, you have to wait a week, some other challenges that might have occurred. I don't know if you have any insight in terms of where we are in terms of getting our children into schools, the readiness of our schools, whether they had to be cleaned, painted, whatever repairs had to take place there. Do you have any information on this, and where do our children stand? Because we don't want parents sitting up there Monday morning, you know, of course, with their children all ready to go to school and only to be turned away because the school isn't ready. Do you have any reports on that?
Right. So first of all, we expect to get a report from the secretary. So I'm not certain if by Friday there would be an address to the teachers, to the parents, and so on, where we stand with school. The feedback I'm having, though, is that a number of schools, there was nothing, no work done at a number of our schools. They would have done some work on, I believe, three of the secondary schools that had significant electrical issues. The report suggests that they are almost completed with those. But I am not seeing where the repair program this year would have had any significant work done. The concern, though, even if they haven't done work with the lighting and the plumbing and so on, the schools need to be cleaned. And we don't have reports of that neither. You see, I can't afford to be depressed, but it's depressing.
I understand, because
there's work to do, so I can't afford to be depressed. But we have been listening with the principals on the topic, and we trust that the division will do the needful by Friday.
I know one of the schools, that school, Signal Hill Government Primary School, in front of the school there seems to be a constant flow of water. They have blamed so many things on it. They've said that it was sewage. They said it's WASA. They said all types of things. I don't know if they came to a correct assessment and anything was put in place to stop that leak from happening there in front of the school. So that's probably something that you can also try to get some information on for us as we get the children back ready for back to school. You know, because of course the schools need to be cleaned. Some schools have reported infestation of, you know, rodents and stuff like that. So we're hoping that everything is under control and we could get the children and getting the children in a space where they can, you know, be relaxed in a learning environment. We just came out of receiving results for SEA and CXC results here in Trinidad and Tobago, well, in the Caribbean for the CXC. And we're seeing there's a lot of talk in the social spaces. Of course, we saw where students in Guyana talking about 23 ones and all of these types of passes. But I want to focus here on the island of Tobago in terms of the results that came out. What is your assessment? Have you seen, outside of the reports that were given, have you seen any improvement in the types of results that come in for our students here in Trinidad and in Tobago, rather?
So the improvements will be based on which category of students you're looking at.
Okay, let's start with SEA. Our SEA students and their passes.
CXC or SEA?
Sorry, SEA. Our SEA,
all
yes.
Right. The SEA in the primary school. To answer the question, I look at the purpose of schooling, and the purpose of schooling is to produce fitting citizens for our country. When you look at what is happening in our space, it's a poor reflection of our education system, because we have the crime rate which is increasing, the level of delinquency that we have of persons who have not attained any level passes and so on, and it starts definitely in the primary school. We have a tendency to focus on the students who would have done well, and we use that to have a benchmark as to where we are with education on the island, with primary school, SEA, CXC, and so forth. But there's a large gap from those who would have done well to those who have not done well. And those are the persons who hurt us. So to see that there's an improvement, I cannot comfortably say that. We have a few students who are doing well. That has been the consistent case. We would have done better, I believe, this year in the SC than last year. But that's not the benchmark for us. We have too many persons who are that 30% and below 30% and so on. So the programs for schools need to be developed. I've been clamoring for that for some time.
That's right. And I'm coming to that, thinking about what kind of recommendation should be made, because we're looking now at the traditional way that education is delivered in our schools. And clearly, it isn't reaching 100% of our students, because you're seeing people underperforming and people not able to apply themselves to the method of teaching and learning. And so, of course, recommendations must be made. What type of programs are you thinking should be implemented? And I know I saw the secretary is trying to make the curriculum Tobago-centric. I'm not sure how that is going to be delivered in our schools and how it is going to be received. But what are your thoughts as the president of Tutor here in Tobago?
Right. So the direct relation with the poor performances has to do with discipline. So the way in which I'm sitting here and calm, a number of our students don't have that ready ability. They probably have either from home, they are allowed to be, however, probably in the environment that they are in, they don't have, and some of them are conditions, medical conditions, and it's ADHD or so, they're not able to just sit down and be calm in a classroom. So the students who are able to be settled in a classroom easily and be focused, they will do well. The students who have that parental support at home, the school, the teacher, the way in which they are doing the delivery, they will do well. However, the children who are struggling to just, the students who are struggling to sit steady and focus on the work, those are the ones in the larger category who we are failing. The suggestion would have been a number of these persons who are not doing so well are versed in the football. They may be versed in things in the community like fishing. There are different interests that we need to utilize in teaching these persons. However, the resources will be needed. So some schools try their best to do it on their own. You need the corporate sector. So if we are doing, let's say in Black Oak Primary School, we want to have a thematic approach where we are looking at the fishing industry. So in the maths and the vocabulary and the spelling, we use a thematic team where the fishing industry use some of the vocabulary words and so on. So the students have something to relate to. They could go on an outing where some of the things that we are learning in school, they could see how they apply to life. So it's not just a sit down in class, I give you work to learn, I give you some practice sums, and if you do it well, if you could remember the spelling words properly, then you're doing well. It cannot be just that, because there are some students who are not just settled in a classroom. So you would say those persons who are not settled as troublemakers and mischief makers, but they are intelligent in their own way.
That's right, and I want to agree with you, because I remember when I was in primary school many moons ago, the period that we used to have reading, for instance, I remember our teacher used to take us outside below a tree, and we would sit there and we would read. And the things on the outside will help to some of the children who would not be, as you say, be able to sit in a classroom and just focus on the board and the teacher writing on the board. When we went outside, you would see them asking questions. You would see them engaging. You would hear them asking miss, and they would be looking at cars passing by and forming conversations. And so, of course, that would encourage the learner, to participate, as you're rightfully saying, because it really is difficult. Everybody's not the same. And it really is difficult for all the children to be sitting, imagine 23 or 25 or even 30 children in one classroom and one teacher trying to get all of their attention and everybody paying attention to what is happening. So I want to agree, with you 100% in alternative ways of teaching.
Yeah, and you see, we are teaching students, and over the years we have been teaching content. So we teach the content, and who catch it, and that cannot suffice. So we need to be able to have the content catered towards the students. So if we have particular focus on goals, then we will know how this first year teacher needs to line up their curriculum with what the standard 3 and standard 4 coming up they were doing. If we don't do that and we have what is happening now, where each class level have their own curriculum, their syllabus, and when the child comes to my class, I teach that child based on what I have to teach, and we send them up. we are not going to have that direct link. There are some students who have great interest in the work, but because they have particular struggle in a particular class level, it's affecting them emotionally to the point where they are afraid to contribute. They're not doing well. They having that habit of failing quite early when it's the curriculum not meeting their particular needs. And these children are bright children. Most of the troublemakers have great skills, but it's the way in which the content is coming across to them. It cannot be where we continue to just use textbooks and pull things from textbooks that have no relation to Tobago, have no relation to the experiences of the students. And that's what we have been asking for. Some persons believe that teachers on their own could do it, but they would need the resources to make it a sustainable effort. And that's why we want the division to be a part of that.
And what about student support services? Because we're talking now about different types of children in a classroom. You mentioned those who can sit and focus and those who would get distracted easily. I know, for instance, there are some people, I heard a report from a parent, and she said that her son always has to have a fidget spinner in his hand. He would learn, but he has to have this in his hand. And the teacher would be like, you can't have that in the classroom. But that is what keeps him focused. Is there a relationship, like a good relationship with the student support services, to do assessments, for instance, of the children and to make recommendations in terms of how they can learn?
Well, yes, there is that relationship, but they are overwhelmed. So we don't have the requisite number of persons to deal with the number of schools and deal with the number of children, because you cannot label it by school, because one school may have 5, 6, 10, 15 students to deal with. So if a guidance officer or social worker has 2 or 3 schools instead of 2 or 3 children, the resources to treat with those students effectively, it's not there. So how effective it is, I cannot say it's effective at all. They would reach who they can reach, but the number of students who require their attention, we don't have the resources to treat with such.
And so, of course, now we have to revisit the way we deliver teaching to our children to ensure that they can get to a space that is, because you mentioned earlier, the troubled ones, well, what we call the troubled ones, are the ones who end up in situations like on the street, for instance, and we're trying to get rid of that. Because if a child feels neglected, for instance, you're focusing on the ones who bright, as we term them, and so you leave the ones who not so bright, because that they keep them back in class, right? And so it causes, as you mentioned, emotional stress. So I really want to see that aggressive approach in terms of providing that measure of support for our children as they get ready to go into even to secondary schools, as they prepare for a life outside of school. Because when you finish school, what next? If you don't have that measure of support, what next? And so now we're moving on to secondary schooling, right? The student has passed through primary school. They did the SCA. Some of them, they passed for their first choice. The pressures of passing for your first choice. That's another thing where we need a measure of support as well. And they get into secondary school now. They meet a whole different sets of people. Some of their friends going to other schools, and now they're in secondary school. What type of, the same type of support do you think a child needs, especially one who are underperforming child, or a child who usually performs well, but how for some reason at the SEA level they didn't perform their best, and they went to a school that they didn't select, or it wasn't their first choice, and now they're in this space, they have to go because that's what it is. Sometimes that transfer might not be readily available. How does that child integrate into the school system and continue to thrive? Because remember, in primary school, they were thriving, but it's just that, unfortunately, at this point in time, they were not able to. How does that child integrate into that school and come back up to the level that they are accustomed to performing?
So first of all, when I go to graduations at the primary school level, I speak to the parents. We have a tendency that when our children go to secondary school, we let them go because we believe, yes, we get them past SEA and they're in big school now. That's the time when you need to hold them even closer. You need to know that they're teachers, because it's not like you have a particular class where the teacher could have all the understanding of this particular child, because that's the teacher for the entire day. They are going to different classrooms, and a teacher may come with them for a 40-minute period and then they go to another classroom. So they will need that support. You are also going to have these students mixed with other students with their different upbringings and so on, who they may want to impress. So you may have a parent bringing up their child in the best way possible, and that same child may want to prove to another child that I could do bad things to you. The illicit substances that they're sneaking into the schools, I could take part in that too. So if you don't take hold of your children and maintain that through the secondary school, you may have some surprises as a parent. Because sometimes as parents we say, that's not my child. My child would never do that, but you don't know. because we believe they're in secondary school and we can let them go now because they're big and now they start to catch car for themselves. They causing them less trouble. Sometimes I think by Portmore here they had an issue with some of the school students. So first of all, the parents need to continue and probably hold the students even closer. The teachers have been attempting, as you see the results of Signal Secondary School, the teachers have been attempting to have that kind of community where we could have a better understanding using the student support. There's a student council where you have a student body that you can have that layer between the students and the teachers where they can provide that information and that support where we could all work together. So sometimes the schools try to put things in place that they can properly monitor what is happening with the students. The academic content though, sometimes as parents we believe, well, I didn't do good in school so I can't help the child. It does not require you being good at the education. Sit with the child. So you probably read a book, any storybook, anything, at least be there with the child while the child doing a revision. If you are watching TV when the child is revising, it doesn't encourage the child to be constructive in doing any level of schoolwork. So as parents, you don't have to be a scholar to help your child. So those are some of the things we need to have parents doing. We need to have our children on a schedule. That is part of instilling discipline. Because discipline, we believe, is when you fight or if you don't fight, that is discipline. Discipline has to do with you having a responsibility and maintaining that. So you have your child on a schedule, what subjects you're going to revise on particular days and so on. Sometimes we wait until they are in Form 4 to have them in a study pattern, which I'm not certain how successful that will be. But we need to have close monitoring of our students. Sometimes we wait too late. So if we have academic challenges, you don't just send them evening class, and we believe in that. We need to have evening class for every subject area. And it may not be the case. And then you complain about the money you're spending in evening class. So if we monitor these schedules from first form coming up, and you don't wait until they get out of hand and try to pull it back by train money in evening class, I don't know that we're going to get the kind of inroads you need to get in education in Tobago.
And so you're seeing a holistic approach in developing the child, of course, some kind of structure in the home and in the school. And I like the idea of the student body in schools. And I hope that most schools can adopt that type of approach. And it also causes the children in the school to be involved in the activities and gives them a sense of responsibility and also ownership. Because now I am responsible, let's say, for the tourism club in the school, or I'm responsible for the pan club, or I'm responsible for the science club. And so the children have that responsibility and that ownership, and they feel a sense of pride. And you see, those are the children who really thrive because they really work hard. I know a student, for instance, I will tell you this, Braden, involved in probably all the clubs in school. When I tell you all the clubs, and still able to balance the academics because that child has learned responsibility, time management, and all of these things coming up. And I really want to see that in our schools. I'm not saying to overwhelm the child, but to give them something that, of course, they can have that sense of responsibility for. And even at home with chores, parents need to give their children chores, right? Yes, so that they can have that sense of responsibility from early on.
And I would say most of the schools have those programs, but as parents, you need to ensure your child is in one.
That's right.
So even if they don't have a managerial position within that student body, at least they've been a part of it so that they could understand what roles and function, because some of those things mimic what we desire in the wider society. So have them be a part of the clubs and be active in school and not just attend.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking with Braden Roberts. He is the president of Tutor Tobago. Of course, talking about getting ready for back to school and some of the things that we need to engage in as parents, teachers, all the stakeholders who are involved in bringing up this child. As you know, it takes a village to raise a child. So we want our village to be strong together as we produce children who will be, upstanding citizens in society later on. In closing, Braden, is there anything else you want to share with our viewers this morning?
Well, we have to have a collaborative effort. I know that sometimes we want to blame the teachers, or we want to blame the parents, we want to blame the division, we might want to blame tutor as well. But blaming each other won't help us solve the problem. We have been meeting with the division as often as possible. We work with our suggestions, our recommendations, our research items. The division, we understand they have their financial constraints and so on, but we cannot just continuously blame that. We need to have the corporate sector assist as best as possible. I know that the police officers have been talking about what initiatives they would want to have to improve with the discipline aspect of it. However, if we all pull at our own time, we will not be as successful as if we come together and have that structured approach to making that impact. So to have some optimism for this the students. And once we put our hands on deck and we work together, we will be able to make the inroads we need to make.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I totally agree with you. Thank you so much, Braden, for joining us this morning and sharing your views and opinions and, of course, making your recommendations for improvement in our school system here in Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a short break before we continue conversations in studio this morning. And as we go for a break, of course, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
How it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Remember the days when party was party?
Oh, na 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 na.
Well, we're bringing those days back in one night. School Fear.
Run a man where you have a big ninja bike, come a ride for every night you pick up the phone. Tell me a lie why you can't come home. You are gonna make me draw for your part-time lover.
School Fear. On Friday, August 30th at Fairways Restaurant and Lounge from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. Kick off the holiday with a blast from the past.
Jump up and scream 'cause you no carry no bell. Go Rachel, go Rachel.
Join us for the ultimate old school party the night before the holiday, Friday 30th August. Free shots all night long, retro vibes, classic hits, and memories in the making. This is one party you don't want to miss. School Fear.
Get ready to celebrate with us in style on the 31st of August at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort for our premium all-inclusive Independence Party from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. A premium drinks inclusive event with top DJs, fireworks, and a slumber party for the kids for only 100 TT. Tickets for this premium all-inclusive event is only 400 TT at Island E-Tickets and the resort. For more information, call 660-8500. Mark your calendars now for this premium all-inclusive Independence Party.
Now is the time for it to jam on somebody. Hand up in the air, madness everywhere. It didn't with DNA.
Stop. You don't have to sneak in. You don't have to sneak. Pigeon Point security, we have access pass. You don't have to sneak in.
What access pass is that?
The new Pigeon Point Breaking Beach access card. With this card, you can get free access to Pigeon Point, a free umbrella, and a free chair. So make sure you get your Pigeon Point access card.
I can get up?
Definitely. This is your access card, so you can now go into Pigeon Point.
Okay.
Guys, we
we outside in Pigeon Point, sun and sand, and we enjoying it with we access cards. All social media links to Youth Voice and Pigeon Point would be tagged, and stay tuned for it.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the Morning Show on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We continue conversations this morning in studio, and today we speak with Mrs. Shelly Ann Batiste, Manager, the Business Development Unit, and also Kirsten Miller, Poultry and Livestock Vendor, and also the winner of Creative Tank, Tobago Creative Tank, the winner of the most engaging competitor, that is, of Tobago Creative Tank. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and thank you for having us.
Of course, and you know, when we talk about Creative Tank, it's always an exciting conversation, because you see where our local vendors here in Tobago, they get a measure of support, 2, they get a platform to share what they produce, and of course, 3, they walk away with something.
That's right.
Even if it is not cash, they walk away with some type of support or some type of, so this is what we want to talk about, Creative Tank. I know the competition ended a couple of weeks ago. I think it's the 4th edition.
Yes.
Right. And so we want to talk about all that happened throughout the process and getting us here to the finals, and of course, one of our winners in one of the categories. So tell us about the idea behind Creative Tank and where we are today.
All right. So just to give some background information in terms of Creative Tank, we remember the onslaught of COVID that hit everybody. And as a result, businesses were shut down. So coming out of COVID, the Business Development Unit, we were challenged to come up with something to spur economic growth in the SMEs. As a result, we would have birthed the virtual think tank. So at that time, it was virtual. We challenged our SMEs to come up with creative ideas, creative ways to continue business in that new dispensation of online. Coming out of that, we came up with Creative Tank. And each year we try to focus on a different sector. So last year we would have focused on the tourism sector in an attempt to give some boost to the tourism industry, again, as a result of COVID. This year, our focus was on our young people, our youth, like Mr. Miller. Our focus was age group 18 to 25 years. We had the preliminary round, which saw them doing their own video. It was submitted to us, and then it was uploaded to our Facebook page. Coming out of the preliminary round, there was a panel of judges that selected 8 persons to go through to the finals. And I must put a plug here. Oh my gosh. I did not envy the judges at all. I did not envy them. Each competitor was fierce, and they brought something unique and different and challenging. And most noteworthy, I must say, what we admired from the Business Development Unit is the level of camaraderie between these young people. You know, normally when you have competition, it's like rivalry. But no, oh my gosh, they were a nice bunch of young people that brought that life and energy. They challenged each other. I remember one of the days when we were having the training session with them, because after the preliminary round and the 8 persons would have qualified, we had a training session. And the energy in that space, and I'm even hearing them saying that they're going to create the company, 2024 creative group of companies. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, so we really want to commend this group of young people. Hats off to them.
And I think that is something you should probably pick them up on.
Yes.
Creating that conglomerate of businesses. I think they're onto something
yes,
there.
Yes.
And of course, it's because of the space that was provided for them out of the BDU. Mr. Miller, tell me what your experience was like in terms of going into the competition, the prelims, and qualifying for the finals, and now being the winner in your category.
Well, I would say this experience was amazing, because I had no idea that, I would have turned out so victorious, you know. Just scrolling on Facebook one day, you know, looking for opportunity, and I just bounced up on the business development page, and I saw this competition. Being a little shy, you know, because you have to send in a 3 minutes video, and I'm studying like, I wonder who else coming in this thing, boy, you know. And I took it upon myself that, you know, I need to try. I need to get out of my shell and see that this business really has the potential that it needs to go. So I went ahead and I called my neighbors and say, hey, you all got to hold the camera.
Of course.
Right? And we started just there, and you know, we sent in this video, and you know, the process of having people going on the page and liking and sharing brought a lot of different customers and a lot of different attention to the business. So it gave me an opportunity, you know, not only as a competitor in the Creative Tank competition, but as a way of marketing my business as well, so that, you know, my business could actually shine out right here in Tobago. So that actually gave me the foot, or I like to say the footprint where I needed to be, you know, to push forward in this competition, right? And as the competition says, Creative Tank, so we went all out for the finals. We carried everything, the plucking machine, the cutter, everything that my business have to ensure that we won most engaging.
And that's what I was about to ask you. What were the tricks that you put out of your hat to ensure that you got that, you know, that title as most engaging competitor?
Yes, just before Creative Tank, I didn't have my jerseys with my logo and stuff that you're seeing here. And well, this competition made me realize that there's so much that I need to do to make sure that the business looks ready. And I believe that was part of the process. You know, this Creative Tank competition brought so much, right? So I was able to call up a van and carry everything down to Shaw Park Complex.
And you know, Mrs. Batiste, you know, when you have projects, you're commissioned with a project and you say, listen, you have to do Creative Tank, you have your objectives. How does it feel to know that you have achieved your objectives and that it was a success?
Yes. And to me, what is interesting, Miss Cumming, what is most interesting and rewarding for us at the Business Development Unit, as Mr. Miller was saying, initially he was shy, there was another one, Mr. Archer, oh my God. Hi, Mr. Archer. We had to prompt and push and really hold his hand. As you know, that's one of our mottos and our commitment at the Business Development Unit, to hold their hands during the process. Many times people come into the business development and they think that BD is only about the grants and the loans. But we have so much more, and we recognize that one of our primary focus is that of mentoring and nurturing. And we saw that with this group of young people, the different mentalities and personalities that we had to coach and course. But at the end, when you saw them on the phone, like, oh my God, wow. I remember one young lady, Sapphire, Miss Neil Influencer TT. She was all over the place. But when she saw the final product, she's like, that is me? It was really, really rewarding. It has been rewarding when you sit back, you know, like a proud mother.
That's right.
These are the products. And I really want to say, even now, thanks to our new secretary, Councillor Petala and Roberts, who came in and she dived right in to give us that push and that support, our administrator, Mr. Bernard, Wendell Bernard, because they understand the momentum that is at BDU, and to keep that going, to keep it going, we really want to commend. Just to quickly run through the 8 finalists. Of course, we had Mr. Keston Miller, who was doing the poultry and livestock. We also had another poultry farmer, Che Watchford. He would have won most innovative. In addition to the poultry that he did, what gave him the edge is his low sugar sweet potato. It's a new invention that that will soon be on the market. We had Miss Shannon Batiste with the crochet art. And she came with all her models, the mother and baby combination, the hats and the handbags. We had Miss Whitney Clark. She was promoting Miller Mass, which is promotion of the band that they want to launch for Carnival 2025, Tobago Carnival, that is. We had Anthony Archer. He came up with this exciting products for eczema, for dry skin. And immediately that was launched, the video went out. BDU has been the marketing officer, directing people to him to get his stuff. We had Mr. John. Remind me of his first name? Joshua Tree Limited. Oh my gosh. He's doing landscaping,
artistic
painting, building and painting.
Wow.
Everything.
Everything. Let's put it that way. Everything. Who did I forget? As I said, Sophia Davis. She is Miss Neil Influencer.tt.
Yeah.
So she's created this app. You know, our ladies and the nails. So the concept is that you can choose your nail art and stuff before you go into the salon to save you with time. We also had Mr. Giovanni Williams. He won most promising business. He's a barber, and his concept that he is launching is what we call barbercology. So in addition to coming and getting your hair cut, he is merging his study of psychology into barbering. I think I covered everybody. Yes, I hope I covered everybody. Yeah, so you saw the wide range, and Miss Combi, trust me, they brought it to the finals. They brought it. I was listening to the audience behind me, and be like, oh my God, wow. Yeah, that's the one, that's the one. And then the next person, oh yeah, that's the one, that's the one. But in addition, we had a karaoke competition. Oh my, you know, Mr. Miller had fun as well. So
I like how he came out of his shell for this competition.
Yes, so just to light the mood, because we felt the tension even with them after their presentation. So while the judges were deliberating, we gave them an opportunity to do karaoke. Mr. Miller was singing and all too. So it was fun. Shannon Batiste would have won that competition. So wow, we just excited, and persons are anxiously looking forward for the next edition. So stay tuned.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, if you can feel the excitement here in studio this morning, if you have a small business, you have to connect with the BDU here in Tobago so that we can get you on board with this creative tank, you know, and not just creative tank, but all the support that they lend to you as you develop your business. So we're going to go for a break, and I don't want you to go away. You have to stay here for the second half of this conversation so you can get all the information and all the insider details as to how you can become a part of the BDU team and, of course, benefit from all the support that they lend there. We're going to go for a short break, and as we go for a break, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
I'm so relieved Javel gave me this money. Now I could enjoy the holidays with my family and not have to worry about monies for bags, books and shoes.
Javel? Who is Javel? She could give me some money too?
Javel is the July-August vacation education loan at Bethel Credit Union. Up to $20,000 to help with all additional expenses during this July-August.
Yes, you heard right. Call the Bethel Credit Union and ask for Javel. She'll hook you up with the money to take care of all your additional expenses this holiday season. Open to new members too. Get up to $20,000 and have a worry-free holiday with Javel. Call 639-8226 or 631-1336 or message us on Facebook for more information.
Are you ready to optimize your wedding business for engagement season and book more clients? Refine is the place to be. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024 from 9 a.m. Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. This premier event is designed specifically for Caribbean wedding industry professionals. Gain expert insights, practical knowledge, and valuable connections that can help you thrive in the destination wedding market. Register now at refinesummit.com. It is time to refine. Refine. the Wedding Business Summit. Get insider info, advice, and insights from local, regional, and international players in the destination wedding market. Refine the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024, Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. It's time to refine.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. We're just about 7:52 a.m. So if you're getting to work for 8 o'clock and you're not sitting at your desk, you're probably late. However, if you are still on the nation's roads, remember to get there safely this morning. We continue conversations this morning in studio and we speak with Mrs. Shelley Ann Batiste, manager of the Business Development Unit, there in the Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy, and also Kirsten Miller of Poultry and Livestock, and he is the winner of the most engaging competitor category in the Creative Tank Tobago. Ms. Batiste, you mentioned earlier that each year when you roll out Creative Tank, you focus on a specific category of people.
Yes.
And this year you're speaking about focusing on young people. How do you come up with who you decide to focus on for each year and why young people for this year?
Right. So, as you correctly said, each year we try to focus on a different sector, because we appreciate that we need to do a holistic development and not just focus on one specific sector. This year our focus was young people, 15 to 25. Our major objective was for them to understand that entrepreneurship is a viable option. I work in teaching, so I'm not wronging. I don't need to come to work for the teacher. I don't need to work for somebody. I can work for myself. I can determine, as Buju Banton said, I want to rule my own destiny.
That's right.
And therefore, if they understand that earlier, then you realize they take possession. The drive is different. Like Mr. Miller now understands, look, I need to get up and get.
Mm-hmm.
Many times they have a hobby. Yeah, just doing this by the time. But when they understand that this can be business, it can be lucrative, I can monetize my hobby. Like Shannon, she was just doing crochet as a hobby, but now she understands that this is a business opportunity. Whatever you have in your hand, you can turn it into business. Imagine earthworms.
That's right.
It's
That's
a business,
right. That's right.
a very lucrative business. And many times people, and not just young people, people on a whole, have developed this dependency syndrome that you feel the government must do something for you. What THA doing for you? What the government doing for you? What are you doing for yourself? So hence our focus this year to start from there, and then we build that persons understand the possibility of entrepreneurship.
And Mr. Miller, now that you understand the possibility, now that you've been engaged and you see all that can happen, you have a platform now. You mentioned that you went and ready yourself, you got your T-shirts and you got all the things that you need to present yourself in a specific type of way. And of course, eyes are on you, people are calling you, you have new clients.
That's right.
Where do you go from here in terms of expanding your business or improving your business to ensure that you can maximize and monetize every aspect of your business?
Well, at my business, we usually would just mine between 50 to 60 chickens per batch. That's just before. But seeing when we had to do this video and seeing how fast that we sold out just by our video being networked properly, on the Facebook and stuff, we now have to maximize our production rate. So we are now mining up to 150 chickens per batch, right? So that, customers can come out and anytime and get what they want. We also implemented our specials. 3 whole chickens for 200 will be available in September, right? So that our business will actually reach where it want to go. Another thing that we are working on is going mobile, because a lot of persons, a customer had to come from Charlottesville just to purchase his chickens, right? So we want to go mobile in the future so that customers could call, they could order, we could have it delivered, that kind of thing, you know. And we also want to have our goods labeled and all these different stuff. So when you see this brand, you know it's poultry and livestock Tobago.
And I absolutely love the fact that you were able to pick out those things from, just presenting yourself in a specific type of way. Yes. And now you realize that it's a brand, as you mentioned.
That's right.
You are a brand and your product is a brand, and that you can get it as to all the corners of the island, and who knows, maybe you might be shipping to Trinidad and all, depending on how fast your business expand and where the reach is. Yes. And so I'm happy that you've had that experience. And if you were to encourage a young person or anybody on the island of Tobago who either has a business or is thinking about a business, how would you encourage them to partner with the BDU or to get themselves in the mind space that, listen, your business can really thrive?
First thing I will advise them to do is to really know your brand, really know the worth of your brand. Remember, nobody else knows your brand like yourself. That is the kind of mindset you need to have, and then you face the business development unit so that when you go in, you're going positive, you know that there's no turning back. A lot of friends that I know start the process, and on the way when they've seen certain stuff that they need to get, they just shallow out, right? So we just need to keep focused and know that, hey, I'm going into something, and once I start, I need to keep pushing through for the business, not even for the business. Just keep saying for the business, because you need to see this brand grow, you need to see where it needs to go, and the business development unit is there for everyone.
Absolutely. And talking about the business development, you've been there for everyone. And you mentioned that the category this year was 15 to 25. Somebody on the live stream was asking, do you cater for children as well in terms of the support and, the services that you offer at the BDU?
Yes, we cater for everyone. However, we want persons to understand that, remember, legally, a child cannot own a business. So yes, we provide the mentoring because we would do school visits. We will do lectures, presentations. So we will guide them in that particular direction until ultimately at 18 when they can own their business. So right now what can possibly happen is that they will work in cohorts with their parents. So the parents will guide them. But it is so much easier for them to start at a younger age and understand the rules.
And what's next for BDU? What's coming out of, because I know there's always something happening, whether it's Christmas Village, whether it's Creative Tank, there's always something coming from BDU. And this is something I love because Tobago is ripe with talent and so many businesses are developing. And people think because Tobago is small, your business might not thrive. And here comes BDU to tell you, you can.
Yes.
You pull Keston out from where he was and look at him now. So what is next for BDU?
Right. So this year, in addition to Creative Tank for the last couple of months, we would have focused on training because we want them to build some capacity, marketing, the digital business, understanding the importance and significance of having a digital presence. Coming up, not to let the cat out of the bag, we are examining a networking session called the Hookup. Yeah? So look out, the details will roll out as we go along. Because as Mr. Miller was saying, and as I was even sharing with them, many times people in the Tobago space, businesses in the Tobago space, small businesses in particular, see each other as competitors. Me not tell she that because she got teach me idea. But if we understand that together you are stronger, don't see the person as a competitor, but rather that they are complementing you. So Mr. Miller is selling chickens. How about networking with the person who's doing seasoning? And networking with the person who's doing packaging and labeling. Yes. So rather than, let's come together because, I mean, with a finger I could joke myself, but when I clench my fist and I hit you, will feel it. And that's what I want persons, as the business development, we want persons to understand collaboration, strategic alliances, networking. That is what is going to move every one of us forward to the next level develop.
That's right, absolutely. And in closing, is there anything you want to share with our viewers this morning?
I just want to encourage everybody, go back on our page. We would have shared the highlights of the finals, but go and review the videos of our young people. Patronize them, support them. And I'm talking about quality. I know seke kind of. They are quality products. You would have seen the passion that they put into this business. Support them.
Absolutely amazing stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Mrs. Shelley Ann Batiste, manager at the Business Development Unit at the Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy, and also Keston Miller, the winner of the most engaging competitor providing poultry and livestock. This is where we have to end the morning show on Tobago Updates Television, but we don't end our programming here. We head on over to GMT, so stay with us. And as you stay with us, we invite you to help us. Share the live. Share the live. Share the live.
This project or this program, I would say, is it's Independence Day. Independence Day is time for fun, your time for camaraderie. You're celebrating how much years you have been free, or whatever the case may be. So I think after the parade, I think everybody should come down and enjoy themselves and have a day celebrating our freedom.
All enjoying the festivities. Yeah, you're talking about.
I look at it as something that we can have like July 4th in America, a day of celebrating. So it's not just about boat racing, it's about families and fun, children coming with their parents and coming together and having a fun day. And while having fun, experiencing freedom. We have boats from all over. Of course, there'll be pier races, there'll be speedboat races, and there'll be power races. We're supposed to have a contingent from Trinidad. We call them the Boeing Spec class. We're still having conversation on how we could, make it suitable for them to come and race. But added to that, we should have that class from Trinidad also. We are in conversation also with the Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard. Because it's independence and because there are families coming out and there would be children, we are having a flyover so that the children would enjoy seeing a plane running behind the boats and stuff like that at maybe a lower altitude. And I say normally, when you're talking about boat racing, people don't get to see the boats up close and personal. It's always hundreds of meters away. They'll be racing right in the shoreline. We would have bouncy castles, we'd have novelty events, might have swimming race, there might be jet skis. We're trying to get dragon boats on board and stuff like that. So it's a day full of events. We're trying to keep it in town, and next part of the initiative also is building back Scarborough, our capital of Tobago. Just saying to Tobago, after the independence, we have a fun day packed for you guys. Right after the parade, come down to the Esplanade and have some fun with us. Come and see boat racing, come and see planes flying, come and see drones, come bring your kids for bouncy castles and other games, or whatever the case may be. There'll be toys, there'll be food, there'll be drinks, there'll be music. So just come down and have a fun day with us.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Last year, October 2023, the island tilted. The peaceful bliss of sea, sun and sand was transcended as we took to the streets to revel in paradise.
We love Tobago Carnival!
we not leave it till we go right down.
It's the greatest, it's the best, it's safe, and it's beautiful.
I love Tobago, baby. Coming back next year. Hey!
Playing pan on the streets is a magical experience. When the band strike up, is rhythm, steel and powder. This is Tobago Carnival, Pan in Paradise.
Tobago is the best.
Tobago Carnival is the new home for the legend of Calypso. Where else can you get sweet Calypso music that gives you that nostalgic feeling?
Soca Titans is we title, is we monarch. We built artists from scratch who can perform with the best. Real titans of soca.
When last you've been to a party, plenty women looking so nice. We must be in paradise.
This year, ritual takes on new space and dimension. Traditions will be reimagined, breaking free and taking on new meaning on the road.
I love the energy.
This year, the revelry is bigger and better. More colors, more meaning, great packages for the masqueraders. Tobago Carnival is freedom.
This year promoting safety in all events for Tobago Carnival. This year promoting whining, not minding people business. This year promoting clean fun, security and freedom.
Freedom to be any version of yourself that you choose to be with love and safety. Here, you have permission to be you, uninhibited and free.
So what you waiting on? This year, this October 2024, experience the ritual, revel in paradise, release yourself. From the greatest little island on the planet, this is the Tobago Carnival 2024.
Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. Police are investigating a shooting in Goodwood yesterday involving an off-duty police officer and 2 men. According to reports, the incident took place when Sergeant Colin Stewart attempted to arrest a man. During the arrest, a struggle broke out, causing the officer to fall to the ground. Police stated the man allegedly shouted, "Somebody go dead here today," and grabbed the officer's firearm, resulting in Stewart being shot in the arm. As the struggle continued, the suspect was shot when he tried to seize the firearm a second time. The suspect's friend was also shot in the shoulder when he attempted to intervene. All 3 men were treated at the Scarborough Hospital. Additionally, UNC leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar revealed some of the party's upcoming general election manifesto. Persad-Bissessar proposed raising the legal age for marijuana use and gambling to 25, while supporting crime victims with jobs and housing and ensuring the right to a timely trial. She is also announced plans to introduce monetary rewards for effective policing and avoid property tax increases. Persad-Bissessar criticized the current government's handling of crime and emphasized that the upcoming election would be challenging but crucial for the party. And finally, the TT Unified Teachers Association reminded teachers not to report to work if their assigned school is closed, unless instructed by the Teaching Service Commission. President of the TTUTA, Martin Lumpkin, advised that any other instructions should be ignored, and instances of intimidation should be reported. The advisory comes as schools prepare to reopen on September 2nd. Meanwhile, teachers protested on August 27th over delayed medical insurance refunds, now excessing $34 million. The Ministry of Education will hold ceremonies to commission new and refurbished schools on August 30th. And that was all news in 90 seconds. And we take a break right here, right before we get into this morning's conversation. See you soon.
Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Attention members, now is your chance to double or even triple your dividend payment with no increase in your existing loan payment. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to boost your dividends effectively. Whether you're planning a vacation or simply looking to maximize your savings, we've got you covered. Call us today at 639-8226 or 631-1336. Message us on Facebook for more information. Hurry, this offer won't last long. Bethel Credit Union, because we see you at BCU.
Get ready to celebrate with us in style on the 31st of August at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort for our premium, all-inclusive Independence Party from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. A premium drinks inclusive event with top DJs, fireworks, and a slumber party for the kids for only 100 TT. Tickets for this premium all-inclusive event is only 400 TT at Island E-Tickets and the resort. For more information, call 660-8500. Mark your calendars now for this premium all-inclusive Independence Party.
Now is the time for it to jam on somebody. Hand up in the air, madness everywhere. Eating with DNA.
Remember the days when party was party?
Oh, na 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 na.
Well, we're bringing those days back in one night. School Fear.
Run a man where you have a big ninja bike, come a ride man. Every night you pick up the phone. Tell me a lie why you can't come home. You are gonna make me draw for your part-time lover.
School Fear. On Friday, August 30th at Fairways Restaurant and Lounge from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. Kick off the holiday with a blast from the past.
Jump up and scream 'cause you no carry no bell. Go Rachel, go Rachel.
Join us for the ultimate old school party the night before the holiday, Friday 30th August. Free shots all night long, retro vibes, classic hits, and memories in the making. This is one party you don't want to miss. School Fear.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. This morning, as we continue our conversation, we are talking about crime and security, as well as migration within the region. And as we have that conversation this morning, I have the privilege of chatting online with Mr. Stuart Tony Stephenson, who is the Crime and Security Manager at the CARICOM Secretariat. Good morning and welcome.
Morning, and thank you for having the opportunity to meet with you and the rest of the region.
All right, well, it is a pleasure to have you on with us this morning. I hope that you are hearing me clearly.
I am hearing you quite clearly.
All right. Now, when persons think about migrating throughout the region, we have always thought that CARICOM allows for the free movement of CARICOM members to move between CARICOM countries. Now, you at the Secretariat have been working on a migration policy. So can you tell us what existed before and what exists now, or what it is that the policy is now working towards clarifying?
Okay, so what you've described earlier on in terms of persons moving between the region, we term free movement. But we do recognize that persons moving presents as well a development opportunity. So heads of government had created a space prior to this for persons to have the opportunity to move. And you'll be aware that we started with specific skill sets and persons. But the migration policy goes beyond just the movement of persons. As I indicated earlier, it goes into areas where we are using the movement of persons for development needs, and to be able to do that in a safe and regulated environment. Some of the challenges we've had as a region in terms of our health professionals and in terms of our education professionals present a prime example of how the migration policy itself can help. There's a really strong labor component involved in the migration policy that is being developed. And of course, we want to be able to also take advantage of skill sets that are outside of our region, that has come to our region where we are lacking, and the policy is going to help in adjusting just that.
All right. And is there a particular area of focus in regards to what the needs are in particular territories? For example, is there a list, or does it include countries being able to put out a list of needed areas for specialty?
I am really glad you asked that question. So initially, the mandate came through our conference of heads of government. Subsequent to that, our ministers of national security our ministers of foreign relations met, and they also determined that in implementing the migration policy, the priorities for nationals and national member states needed to be taken into consideration. And we have begun that journey. We've had an initial round of consultations last year with all member states where they were to indicate what their challenges were for migration, where the gaps they had in terms of movement of persons lay, and what were their priorities for moving forward. Subsequent to that, because we identified quite a few gaps, we have formed a governance structure to deal with the implementation of the migration policy. So this structure consists of a steering committee, which is comprised the CARICOM Secretariat, CARICOM Impacts, or Implementing Agency for Crime and Security, representation for the Organization of the Eastern Caribbean States, as well as our technical support moving forward, the International Office of Migration. This steering committee sits above two important bodies and that we've merged together. This includes our regional institutions that have some sort of responsibility for migration, and this would include the Implementing Agency for Crime and Security, as I said before, because we need to be able to move safely. It also includes CARFA, our Caribbean Public Health Agency, because persons also move, and of course we recognize that the pandemic that we just held, that was just had in around 2020, where it ended, resulted in a serious constriction of movement for persons. So they form a key partnership in it. And of course, we've also merged with our United Nations organizations that have some kind of responsibility for migration. This is the International Labour Organization, IOM, as I described, UN Women, all of the above. And the third tier in this framework involves focal points from member states, where we have been speaking with permanent secretaries, with all of the ministries that have some kind of responsibility around movement of persons. And it's important to point out it's not just national security here, but ministries of youth, gender, health and education, and social development. So certainly the needs of persons have been taken into consideration. Earlier on this year, we've started a final round of consultation to develop the framework, which is going to act as a toolkit to assist member states in developing their own national policies. So the policy and the framework is very much citizen-centered to be able to identify those needs within the member states and then be able to address them from a developmental perspective.
All right, excellent. And what I want to find out is what aspect of the policy deals with attitudes? Because within the region, we still have, I don't know if to call it somewhat of a xenophobic attitude towards particular countries. I don't want to go ahead of myself, but you find that persons would feel some type of way about Caribbean nationals, even though we are all from the Caribbean, who come from particular countries. In the past, I've seen it, whether, I don't want to call any countries, but, when they find out that, you came to their country from a particular country, they always feel like, you have come to try to, benefit economically, and there's a negative attitude connected to that. How do we change that to a positive attitude of embracing our Caribbean brothers and sisters when they do move here,
And again, thank you very much for that question. So the answer speaks to our communication strategy, which is key in terms of gathering the stories of persons who have moved, as well as creating mainstream and sustained relationships with our social media, as well as our, like yourself here this morning, our media personnel. Media personnel is a critical component of the work that we're doing moving forward. And we've recognized that once you begin to tell the story, persons will tend to relate. It has to be relatable. The migration policy is focused on what can a migration policy do for me as an ordinary citizen moving forward, so that those answers are clearly stated and clearly represented. We know that most oftentimes, if you have a conversation with anybody in the region, that we would find that they have links in various islands. I myself have my great-grandparents from Barbados residing, and then I grew up in Trinidad and Tobago, and now I'm working in Guyana. And you'd find that this is the case for quite a lot of our national citizens. Persons are moving. We've had a very positive relationship moving forward. With respect to movements of persons, another important statistic we found that is over 60% of the persons that move within the region are women. And they move for the purpose of employment and seeking to gain a better type of understanding, a better life for their families. An important statistic that is now arising has to do with our concern for migrants or persons who will be moving based on the negative effects of our hurricanes that we've seen becoming even stronger and even more regular in the region. In fact, the term climate migrant is starting to be coined. So we recognize that if you recall a few years ago when one of the hurricanes devastated one of our member states, they had to move. We've had incidences of volcanic eruptions that caused people, and people needed to move. And I don't think that once the rest of the region is aware of the kinds of movements and the kinds of challenges that persons feel, as well as the opportunities that would present to additional member states for bringing in skill sets for things that we do not normally have, then that forms quite a very strong argument for how we move. A lot of the movement takes place between our young persons, and helps our social media platform forms a key strategy in terms of how we reach out and gather, not just tell persons that we've done this and this is how you intend to respond, but to find out from those demographics, what are their challenges, what are their concerns with movement, and begin to address those. So certainly communication, our communication strategy is a very key component of this framework going forward.
All right, is the policy complete or is it still being worked on?
Okay, so we've had the first draft of the framework, and it's going through technical review currently. We've had 2 technical reviews at this point. The next focus would be sending that back out to the focal points within member states that have been established to work alongside us in developing the migration policy. And in November, we have a high-level meeting that is going to be between the key ministries that support the migration policy for discussions and talk. In February 2025, we project that we'll be able to take the framework after it has been worked through the region, visible to the region, and persons within the regions have had their input to present that to our heads of government at the next February sitting in 2025.
All right, and well, I guess you might still be open to a number of recommendations. So maybe persons can reach out to you and give those recommendations. But for me particularly, after studying in the Netherlands, there was this thing called an orientation year. And I know that a number of Caribbean students move back and forth between different Caribbean countries to study. So is there a possibility to have that orientation, or what they call a search year, that allows students to stay in the country that they pursued their bachelor's or their master's degree, or any research actually, in, to allow them 1 year to search for a job within that country? That would then allow them to acquire a work permit and possibly become a permanent resident there if they so desire.
Okay, thank you. A lot of what you have described, we will be addressing underneath the labor component of the migration policy. So that is going to be our first deeper dive into specific segments, because even though we're developing the policy, we recognize that there's some areas that the policy touches on that needs to be implemented almost immediately. So a lot of those issues that you just raised would form part of the considerations for the labor component of the migration policy, because you've recognized that most persons move, even students, for the chance to have a better quality of life. And whether that quality of life takes place in their country of birth or in another country, we are going to be making recommendations for how or what things ought to be considered in moving forward. You have been very specific in the question that you raised, and certainly we will be taking that into consideration if it's not already being addressed in the labor component.
Excellent. So we look forward to, students who travel within the region to possibly have a free orientation here and to look for jobs in different countries. Now we're going to continue this conversation, but before we do that, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back right after this. See you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion starter.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Stop. You don't have to sneak in. You don't have to sneak. Pigeon Point Security, we have access pass. You don't have to sneak in.
What access pass is that?
The new Pigeon Point Breaking Beach access card. With this card, you can get free access to Pigeon Point, a free umbrella, and a free chair. So make sure you get your Pigeon Point access card.
I can get up?
Definitely. This is your access card, so you can now go into Pigeon Point.
Okay. Guys, we outside in Pigeon Point, sun and sun, and we enjoying it with we access cards. All social media links to Youth Voice and Pigeon Point would be tagged, and stay tuned for it.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. So this morning we have been chatting with the Crime and Security Manager at the CARICOM Secretariat, Mr. Stephenson. Good morning and welcome back.
Good morning again.
Well, it has been a pleasure chatting with you in regards to the migration policy that is being developed by CARICOM in regards to migration between Caribbean countries. Now, why do you think that it is crucially important for persons to understand elements of the policy, or why it's important to have this policy?
Okay, it's really important that persons understand what we are doing, because this is being crafted for them and by them. The migration policy, as I've indicated, looks at several thematic areas under migration, and we've grouped them into three for ease of reference. One of the thematic areas that we're looking at has to do with border security and protection. Another important area looks at our human and social development and labor components. And a third critical component of the migration policy looks at sustainability and displacement created by natural phenomena especially. So outlined in all those are really the reasons why people move from place to place. People move for different reasons. And we want to be able to capture all of these reasons based on what you, the citizen, through the national consultations, will be identifying and have already identified as your priority for movements. You have indicated earlier on, in a simple discussion with you, my host today, that there's an important consideration that we need to take into being. And this is why it's important that we continue to hear from our normal citizens, our citizens who are moving, as to what their challenges have been with moving and what would they like to see resolved. So I'm glad you've opened that door, and the door is still open for persons to be able to identify what their challenges are and where we can make their life and their mobility even better.
So how can persons really be a part of the conversation or just contribute their ideas similar to what I have just done?
Okay, so the current started stream that we're under right now is supporting national consultations. So once we finished with our technical review of what the consultant has presented so far, based on initial round, a second round of consultations, this would be taken to our member states. What they are being encouraged to do and what we're supporting them to do is to hold national consultations around the areas that the policy itself has identified. And this is one of the areas where persons will be able to identify what their challenges and hopes are. Additionally, there's a strong social media platform that is being developed, and we'll be engaging with citizenry in this media. And we're hoping that that would, again, capture a lot of those areas that you've discussed. And in this instance, we're really looking particularly at the youth demographic, which you fall into, to advise as to what the policy itself does. The policy itself is not going to be a document that is going to be a standalone on the shelf, but it has some sustainability built into it. And when I say sustainability built into it, we are also looking at what capacity needs to be developed within member states to be able to interrogate and to continue to interrogate the challenges and the opportunities that arise as we move forward, any emergent challenges that arise, for us to be able to deal with those things and to provide the kind of toolkit for persons to move forward. So this platform is another way where persons are going to be very much engaged. And of course, we're going to be mainstreaming our young persons going forward as well. And this is a third area where we will be getting input from the citizenry of CARICOM to be able to tell us what you want for your regional migration and national migration policies.
All right. Has the policy or members of the committee, discussed areas that revolve around sport and creativity? For example, we know that Jamaica has been leading the way in regards to their international, athletic performance. So a lot of persons within the region are looking at the framework that Jamaica has, especially when it comes to track and field. Does the policy allow for the smooth transition of athletes between countries to train, to learn, and to develop their talents?
Okay, so what you've identified crosses between training capacity and the diaspora, which is really important that we continue to reach out to persons who have left our shores and reside in what we consider to be third states. Certainly, that is one of the considerations. And we urgent persons, once the national consultations begin, to, like as you have, identify your need, identify your challenges, identify your wants, so that that can all be captured within the policy framework itself, so that we can have a product that is useful for everyone.
Right. And another example of that would also be Carnival and the creativity that comes behind that. We see that now more than ever, that even the smaller islands are expanding their Carnival product. We have a number of persons who, work on the creative end of that and, just exploring what the opportunities, inter-island opportunities can be, within these sectors. As we wrap up this morning's discussion, is there anything that persons ought to really understand about this, and when can we look forward to those national consultations happening?
Okay, so I will start with your last question first. The national conversations will happen once we have had that initial discussion with our member states, and that's going to be within the next 2 weeks. So we'll be encouraging them. Of course, it's up to individual member states how they would proceed from that point, but we would encourage national consultations. I would just like to say that movement is something that we do naturally, and that the region has had a very, very strong grounding in working with the rule of law. So this is in terms of those areas that persons generally feel concerned about when they hear that we are going to be moving more, or we're going to be entertaining even free movement. Our border security and intelligence networks are very, very well developed, and we have a lot of this work to thank through our implementing agency for crime and security, CARICOM Impacts, who continues to liaise internally and with third states to ensure that those persons that can disrupt our way of life, those persons that can disrupt our economic pursuits are very much pursued, are very much identified and flagged, and will be able to work with member states to ensure even that they don't slip from one jurisdiction to the other jurisdiction. So those forms of support and safety are strongly in place. What we want to do now is to build on that and to allow persons to be able to move the way they want to in an environment created that is safe for them to engage in their economic development. Thank you.
All right. And finally, my last question would have to be regarding crime and the movement of criminals between countries. How has the current policy in its current form addressed that?
Okay, so as I was alluding to earlier on, there are a lot of laws and regulations that are already in place, and the policy is going to be able to strengthen those. We have several relationships and several memorandum of understanding with persons within our region and without our region and third states. Border security, which is the mainstay of our ministries of national security and ministries of home affairs, are being led by a very responsible leadership, as well as we've got one of our community councils called the Ministry of Ministers of National Security and Law Enforcement, CONSLI. CONSLI meets at least twice per year, and all that is discussed in CONSLI is fed in from a lot of the network that we've created through meeting regularly with our chiefs of immigration, or controllers of customs, or chiefs of police, our heads of military institutions, our heads of financial intelligence units, as well as our heads of intelligence units. So all this, which we consider to be our security infrastructure, is firmly in place, and that is providing and continues to provide human support to member states in moving forward. We continue to grow, and we continue to build on and gather the kinds of data that will allow even stronger analytical and empirical policies to be developed. So we are in good hands. There's more work to be done, but we are moving in the right direction.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Stephenson. I really appreciate your time and having this conversation with you this morning. And we look forward to being alerted on whenever those national consultations are happening and hopefully hearing from you again when that policy has been finalized. All right. We hope that you have a great day and that you continue all the good work that you have been doing. We're going to take a break right here and we're going to be back right after this. See you soon, guys.
I'm so relieved Javel gave me this money. Now I could enjoy the holidays with my family and not have to worry about monies for bags, books and shoes.
Javel? Who is Javel? She could give me some money too?
Javel is the July-August vacation education loan at Bethel Credit Union. Up to $20,000 to help with all additional expenses during this July-August.
Yes, you heard right. Call the Bethel Credit Union and ask for Javel. She'll hook you up with the money to take care of all your additional expenses this holiday season. Open to new members too. Get up to $20,000 and have a worry-free holiday with Javel. Call 639-8226 or 631-1336 or message us on Facebook for more information.
Get ready to celebrate with us in style on the 31st of August at the Magdalena Grande Beach and Golf Resort for our premium all-inclusive Independence Party from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. A premium drinks inclusive event with top DJs, fireworks, and a slumber party for the kids for only 100 TT. Tickets for this premium all-inclusive event is only 400 TT at Island E-Tickets and the resort. For more information, call 660-8500. Mark your calendars now for this premium all-inclusive Independence Party.
Now is the time for it to jam on somebody. Hand up in the air, madness everywhere. Itching with DNA.
Attention all talented individuals and groups in Tobago. This is your moment to shine. Showcase your skills in music, dance or drama at Tobago Star Quest. Prelim auditions are held every Sunday across various communities throughout Tobago. Seize the chance to win exciting prizes and demonstrate your talent. For more details, visit our Instagram page at tobago.star.quest or email tobagostarquest@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Go in. You have to stop it. You have to stop it.
Welcome to my kitchen, guys.
You have to stop it every night.
That's it. That's the intro. Let's do it one more time, right?
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Remember the days when party was party?
Oh, na 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 na.
Well, we're bringing those days back in one night. School Fear.
Run a man where you have a big ninja bike, come a ride for every night you pick up the phone. Tell me a lie why you can't come home. You are gonna make me draw for your part-time lover.
School Fear. On Friday, August 30th at Fairways Restaurant and Lounge from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. Kick off the holiday with a blast from the past.
Jump up and scream, cause you no carry no bell. Go Rachel, go Rachel.
Join us for the ultimate old school party the night before the holiday, Friday 30th August. Free shots all night long, retro vibes, classic hits, and memories in the making. This is one party you don't want to miss. School Fear.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. This morning, as we continue our discussions, we're talking to Kelvin Hosford, who is a food vlogger, also popularly known as Harvest God. Good morning and welcome.
Morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, well, it's good to have you on. So tell us, this morning we're talking about the fact that you have received the Independence Award for being a Tobago food vlogger, but not only that, it's an award for your contribution to the community. In your award, it has been identified as Exemplary Community Service Award. Tell us a bit about how you started and how you ended up being where you are today.
Well, I believe a lot of people know exactly what Harvest God is about in the Trinbagonian space and globally. It's a lot of work. What I mainly do, I mainly showcase as I call it, the best aspect of our culture, the harvest. I also do showcase different stuff going on in the community. Like for instance, the tragedy we had with the oil spill that affected my community, Lambo, mainly. Of recent, one of the major stuff that I've done, me in collaboration with the Palatine Fisher Folk and the Roxborough Power Boat Association, MacGyver, Pata, and the other guys, when we reached out to our neighboring countries, Carriacou, Grenada, and assisted them after being damaged by the Hurricane Beryl. So Harvest God is doing a lot of stuff in the Tobago.
All right. And this award was given to you by the Consulate General to Trinidad and Tobago in New York.
In New York, yes.
Right. To tell us a bit about that award giving ceremony. When did it happen? And were you expecting to receive the award? Tell us a bit about, the activities surrounding that.
Well, actually, in all honesty, this is nowhere close to my mind. What I basically concentrate on is putting in good work, showcasing Tobago in the best way possible, and putting my best effort to it when I do it. And one thing I must say, the benefits of social media today is that what you are doing, you may be doing some stuff home in your drawing room, could be in work, could be wherever. And once you post it on social media, your audience is literally the world. And on numerous occasions, I've actually seen that office stationed in Manhattan, New York. I've seen they repost some of my videos. So it goes to show that although I'm on thousands of miles away, they were actually paying attention to some of the work that I'm doing. And as a result, they saw it fit to award me for the work that I'm doing here in the Tobago space, that they are seeing impacting so many lives on a global space. Most people that live abroad would understand, they would value what I do even more than the people here on the island. Reason being, home in Tobago, people may see it he just showcasing harvest, or he just showcasing few things going on in the community. And for them, that is like a norm to them. But someone that haven't been home for the last 20, 30 years, or based on where you are living, based on how you are cultured, seeing a guy, in a nice like a straw hat, showcasing this kind of cultural activities, for them, that could be one of the best experience they ever see. I remember carrying a group of doctors to Mount Pleasant Harvest And off camera, one of them, he started to cry and he was like, this is literally the best experience he have ever had in his entire life. To an average Tobagonian, you may tubes like really harvest. Like for instance, I'm asking the viewers this. When last have you guys in the Tobago space been to Pigeon Point? If I'm to ask you that and all, when last you have been to Pigeon Point?
Maybe just like a couple weeks ago with my family.
Majority of Tobagonians don't even value the beauty that we have here in the Tobago space. So when I'm capturing that and showcasing it to the world, there are people that are little like, wow, having the opportunity to have this kind of content in their space, on the lap, in the homes, in the cars while they're driving home, you know. So as a result, they value what I do a lot more.
All right. And you were also very, well, I asked you before, when did you receive the award exactly?
Was actually, they actually had a ceremony card to happen Monday evening in the Consulate General office, which is in, as I said, Manhattan. However, he wasn't well. So he wasn't even, normally he would attend the Tobago Day every year. So he couldn't even attend the Tobago Day because he wasn't well. So they actually gave me the award in the Tobago Day. Calypso Rose, she was also to be awarded. However, he couldn't even have done it. So I think they gave the Chief Secretary her award for him to carry and give it to her. Wait, I think she's in a hospital somewhere. I'm not sure. But the Chief Secretary, he went and delivered her award. But they gave me my own in the Tobago Day.
All right. And how was that for you? How was that experience?
Honestly speaking, I don't even know how to explain it now. You know, I mean, it was a really good feeling because this was literally the furthest thing from my mind. I had no idea, you know, as much as I'm doing so much in the social media space, to even hearing that an office with the magnitude of the Trinidad and Tobago Consulate in New York, to see that they are paying attention to what I'm doing here, to the extent to see the need to award me, you know, I mean, it's a really good feeling. It's a really good feeling, you know.
All right. And you went to the Tobago Day celebration. Tell us about your presence there. You know, what was your intention going over there, and what did you do at the Tobago Day?
Well, for me, as I always say, and I say it over and over and over, in my opinion, there is nothing that truly showcases us as Tobagonians better than the Tobago Harvest. You know, so for me, this was actually the second episode of the Tobago Harvest experience beyond Tobago Shores. So what I actually did, I actually went to the Tobago Day and give them a taste of the Tobago Harvest experience, you know, which was actually me keeping a harvest in New York. The one before that, I actually did that in Caracou when we went over there, you know. So this is actually the second one. And the intention is to actually take it all different parts of the world, you know, to show the world, to give them an hands-on deck experience of exactly what is a every Sunday thing here in Tobago by giving them a taste of the Tobago Harvest experience.
All right, and even as we wrap up this morning's discussion, we want to say a special congratulations to you from our team here at Tobago Updates and all the Tobagonians that have been watching on and supporting you. I want you to know that it's more than just about getting an award, but you have inspired a number of persons to go ahead and do the content creation that they have, you know, really held themselves back from doing because of fear of judgment. You know, you hear a number of persons saying, well, you know, I'm just from Tobago, this is Tobago, people judge you, or people have a lot to say about what it is that you're trying to do specifically in the social media space. You know, there's this common thread of what he or she trying to do.
True.
But, you know, consistency and, you know, putting in the work and having a mentality that your audience goes beyond the shore of Tobago
definitely
really does help to encourage you to keep going and keep doing it. And I'm sure that when people message you or when you see the comments underneath, you know, your post, it really helps to encourage you to continue to put in the work. So even from the standpoint of you taking content creation seriously, you have assisted in opening up that industry for young Tobagonians to see it as a viable, you know, means of creativity, expression, and even revenue generation.
Definitely. If I'm to say though, for me, I see this as I see this as a victory and a motivation and inspiration for all of us as Tobagonians. Especially the ones that are in creating content. If you see yourself as a content creator, social media influencer, however you categorize it, I see it as a victory for all of us. Pay attention to this to see that, hey, at the end of the day, from the time this leave your device and it's posted, the world is your audience. And sometimes this is just a cue to let you know that you never know who is looking. So whenever you put it out there, try and put the best representation of yourself. One thing I would like to say, I want to thank everybody that would have assisted in the entire journey. All the fans, the whole team, Trevor, everybody. It's a lot to call, but I want to thank everybody. It's a lot of hard work. I want to also thank the people that would have assisted in making the Tobago the event possible. Ashby Smokefish, thanks a million. That was actually one of the #1 dish that I prepared in New York, and likewise in Carriacou, that people literally went crazy over. So I want to say thanks to them. I want to say thanks to Visto Enterprises. With that being said, I feel like celebrating with my followers. I just feel like going down by Vistos in Shaw Park and do a fireside Sunday this weekend. And just cook some food and just give it away. I don't know. I'm gonna talk to my boy, Mr. Warner, and see. I feel that's the vibe I'm running with. But again, thanks everybody. And last but not least, thanks to the THE assisted us with some funds to make the trip possible. I want to say thanks to you guys, for assisting us in the way you did. But most important of all, I must say thank the Lord for giving me the courage and the confidence and everything to continue doing what I'm doing. There are some days are better than some. There are sometimes I'm more challenging than some. And I'm really glad that he's continuously giving me the strength and everything to continue to do this. Because there are times that, like, honestly, it's a little too challenging.
Right.
But based on the followers and the fans and that really look forward to seeing this. That would just really keep me going and really keep me, keep a smile blazing and keep a fire blazing. So again, thank you to everybody. It's a pleasure being, your guy. It's a pleasure to be able to showcase this aspect of Tobago culture to the world, and it now stop. The fire now start blaze. The best is yet to come.
All right, thank you so much. And we look forward to the possibility of you having that celebration on Sunday at Vishnu's. And
Visto's Enterprise.
Visto's Enterprise.
Mr. Warner, I feel this weekend it is, Yeah, I feel. But anyway, stay to the page. Stay tuned to the page, and you guys will see exactly how I intend to celebrate this. Visto Enterprises, thanks for everything that you have done so far. It's a pleasure having you on board. Ashby Smokefish. Darling, if you haven't tried Ashby Smokefish as yet, you definitely need to. And this is not an advertisement, but really, Ashby Smokefish is literally the best on the island.
All right, thank you so much. And it is an accomplishment that is worth celebrating. Guys, we want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments. And thank you for all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Now, as I always say, if you want to see what's going on behind the scenes, follow me on all social media platforms, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, to see what's going on behind the scenes. Again, thank you for being a great audience and have a great day. See you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear